Well, welcome to Tuesday Motivation and Conversation. I am here with Mr. Shawn Whitlock, and we are getting ready to talk about Pen to Paper Summit 2026. Listen, you don't want to miss this conversation, so you want to get locked in. You want to make sure that you put your phone on Do Not Disturb. You want to turn down all the noise, and you want to listen real closely, especially if you have not registered for the Pen to Paper Summit 2026. It's happening January 31st. 2026 at the Urbane Collective located at 1301 Custer Road, right here in Plano, Texas. And so we have some things we want to talk about because we're not here to motivate you, but just to inform you and have a conversation. Because sometimes when people don't really understand, Sean, what's happening, it's difficult for them to make decisions. So we're going to get into it in just a minute, but I want you to first introduce yourself, tell us what you do, that kind of thing. And yeah, your excitement for the upcoming Pen to Paper Summit.
Absolutely. Well, Bridget, thank you so much for having me. Not only am I excited, I am ecstatic. I am thrilled. I am pumped. I am ready to
Yeah,
go. Pen to paper. Let's go.
let's
2026.
go.
My name is Shawn Whitlock. I'm a senior vice president here at Alliance Bank. I've been in banking for 2 decades. I cut that
Wow.
instead of saying 20 years, I just say 2 decades so I don't sound so old. Um, but I do everything from commercial loans to lines of credit to real estate. I'll go down to 50,000 and going all the way up to 15,000 or 15 million, excuse me, this year. So
Wow.
I'm pretty involved with the community as well. Um, and it's just, we're rolling right now. It's a lot going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. One of the things that's so important about entrepreneurs is knowing the basics about banking. And, as much as, we have people going into entrepreneurship and start a business on a daily basis, very few people take the time to really have all of their ducks in a row when it comes to this area and to this piece. And so we're going to be talking about today how what you do folds into our theme for this year, which is beyond the blueprint. So that means we're talking about after the vision has been established, right? Because that's not the manifestation of it. It's beyond that. So we're talking about beyond the blueprint, the vision beyond the blueprint, velocity beyond the blueprint, invested action beyond the blueprint. So from your lens in banking, what's the difference between someone with a real vision versus someone that, they just got a good idea? And I know you see this all the time. So I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, I get a lot of man, I had this idea and I was just thinking one time, what
Mm-hmm.
if I I tell them I can't lend or I'm not gonna loan off of a I'm thinking one time, right? We
Mm-hmm.
get a lot of
Mm-hmm.
dreams and aspirations of, man, I want to own a business and I want to do. Everyone's not designed to be a business owner. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so I've seen it from, soup to nuts. I've done it from soup to nuts. And
Mm-hmm.
the part that you're doing is so important because you have to start. You have to start with the basics, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And business banking is so basic, right? A lot of people operate out of their personal checking accounts. That is not the way you want to operate. You do not want to operate out of your personal
Absolutely.
checking account. Uh, for one,
Absolutely.
for one, it's tax, right? Tax purposes. You don't operate out of
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
That to me, that's the main thing. Those three letters I do not like to be involved with, and that's the I, R, or the S.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Neither one of them. Neither
Neither
one of
one
them.
of
So
them.
what are the signs you look for immediately when, someone comes in and they're talking about, I'm starting a business or, I need a loan because I'm doing XYZ. And then coupled with that question is what do you hear in someone's language that lets you know they're not clear?
So what I look for is proper documentation. Right? Do you
Mm-hmm.
have your proper documentation ready to go? And I'm talking all the way from your EIN to
Mm-hmm.
your certificate, your status certificate, to your documents of formation. right, to your operating agreement. Do you have those things in place? If I don't hear those buzzwords, probably not a good sign. Probably not
Excellent.
a good sign.
Excellent. I
Probably not a
was
good
I was
sign.
listening for all those things because what people don't realize about pen to paper is that this is the documented decision process. And having all of these elements in place is not a good to have, it's a must. You
Absolutely.
there's so many things that impact your documentation. And so, yes, we have AI, yes, we have um digital platforms. But if you, as an individual, the human impact and effort of utilizing any of those platforms, if you're not clear about what to do, none of those platforms are really going to serve their purpose for you. And so you have to have things on paper. And what I teach when it comes to clarity is that there's extraction before understanding. You first got to get everything out of your head because oftentimes
Yeah.
people are trying to make decisions about vision when they've not documented the vision, because not every part of what you see, internally as a vision is what you need to act on when you are launching the vision.
Correct.
We're gonna get in
100%.
all of that. We're gonna get
I
in
love
all of
it.
that.
I
I'm
love it.
telling
Let's
you, we're gonna
go.
get in
Let's
all of that
go.
because this is what it's about, right? And so I understand we have creative people, especially our millennials and Gen Zs, wonderful gifts, wonderful ideas, but this is to me the collective wisdom that entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and business owners need. Even if you're an existing business owner, you have to evaluate your vision on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't talk about, good to do things, and I talk about my experience. I do that on a consistent basis. Just pivoted at the top of 2026 because there's a shift in the era, there's a shift in what's happening, and so you have to shift your business. So I didn't pivot on what I'm doing, I pivoted on how I'm doing it and the approach. So at the core of what I do remains the same. So at the end of the day, those are basic elements that have to be in place. And so people don't understand that you need an operating document for what you do. I don't care if you're doing canned apples, freeze cups, what kind of cups you buy, what kind of Kool-Aid do you buy? What kind of water do you use? And I use that in a comical analogy, but it's so true.
So
So
true.
this is another question. So what are 2 to 3 financial questions every entrepreneur should be able to answer if they say, hey, they have a vision and they're ready to go?
I'm gonna hold you to two. I'm gonna hold you to
Okay,
two.
okay,
I, I,
okay,
I got 22, but I'm gonna hold you to two.
okay,
I'm gonna hold you to
okay,
two.
okay,
One is reserves.
okay.
You gotta have some type of reserve.
Yeah.
Because when starting your business, there's going to be I just didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be I forgot. There's also going to be a well, what happened was.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
There's gonna be one of the three.
Yeah.
There's gonna
Yeah.
so you have to be prepared with reserves because your business isn't gonna generate income right off the bat. It's just
Yeah.
not. I mean, day
Absolutely.
day one, day two, it's just not going to.
Right.
So that's number one. Those three are in number one.
Mm-hmm.
N- Number two, I would definitely say um, if I can reach here, I'm a reach, and
Okay.
I
Reach,
may
reach,
hurt.
reach. Reach each on out there.
Yeah, I'm a reach out here. I'm gonna say you have to have if you don't have an in some type of investor that can invest in your business,
Mm-hmm.
have some type of access to some type of capital, right? So an
Good.
investor or capital is something that you need. So reserves are important, but
Mm-hmm.
if you can't get those reserves, you need some type of investor or capital. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I've told people, your W-2 can be your investor.
Yes.
It can.
Absolutely.
It can be your
Absolutely.
investor.
Absolutely.
So don't go quitting your job thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna quit my job tomorrow and I'm gonna start my business." No. Do not do
Yes.
that. That W-2 can be that investor.
It absolutely can. And the caveat there is how to do that and how to
Yeah.
manage it. I recall doing
Yeah.
that for 8 years while I was in corporate.
Absolutely.
I built
Absolutely.
my business part time while I worked a corporate. So that's something we're going to, I'm telling you, people, I think, and this is why I like to have these conversations, prior to our summits, because I think it helps people to get a little bit of a sneak peek into the things that are covered.
Yeah.
Because people just think blanket, oh, we just finna sit and write, on paper. Not so. we
Yeah.
we have to go deeper, and we have to help to educate, ourselves in this time. We have more entrepreneurs emerging in this time and season than ever before, just because
100%.
of the plight of what's happening in our country and in our society. And so these are things that are important, so that vision gets us directions plus numbers plus decisions. So we got
Mm,
all of these things that are important. And I always say, know your numbers when you walk out the door. Know your numbers when you're getting ready to start a business. Know your numbers, because if you don't know your number, I don't care if that's $5, $500, 5,000, 5 million. You need to know where you are. And then the other thing you said that was so important is, you know, an investor for access to capital. And we're going to talk about that. And I think there's an opportunity to really help people to connect on whatever level they're on. Because some people think because they've had challenges, there's no help. There are so many avenues and ways. So we're
uh,
going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about all of that. And I think when people get this level of clarity, it creates that confidence for them to really go after the passion of doing the business. Sometimes people don't do well because they're not really clear. And so that confidence is not there to move forward to do the thing that they really desire to do.
for sure. For sure. That's
It's
good.
good
That's good.
already. It's good already. See, they don't even we're having to cut some stuff off so we don't go too deep. So
Yeah.
so let me keep it moving, because I know we can get
Oh,
on a
we
path, and
we
we'll be
can.
deep in a minute. So
Yes.
then we got the velocity, right? That whole
Mhm.
strategic piece, the speed with structure. How do you define velocity in business, and then what are the warning signs that someone is moving too fast financially? I know you done seen it.
Oh man, I wish I could talk about clients that I have right now that's moving too fast, but I can't tell you. Like it's
No,
confidentiality.
yeah, we don't want to break no confidentiality. Let's
So
go surface.
okay, we'll go. So I'll go two things surface, right?
Okay.
And this is something I feel like everyone has. Your business plan should always have a step a step two of what you do after you hit your goal or whatever that is. Your business plan
Mm-hmm.
should have
Mm-hmm.
goals in it, right? So
Yes.
it should say, here's your 90-day goal, here's your
Yes.
120-day goal, right? Here's your
Mm-hmm.
180-day goal, and then
Yes.
6 month, a year. What does that
Mm-hmm.
look like, right? Once you hit those goals, okay, what is that next 2 years? What
Yeah.
does what does that look like? Because we've seen people,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a great example, and this is not confidential. Starbucks.
Uh-huh.
Everybody goes to Starbucks because they have great plans, good coffee, good service. You know that. But what did they do
Mm-hmm.
too fast? They opened up too many
Mm-hmm.
stores too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So what they doing? And we're talking about Starbucks now. We're not talking
Mm-hmm.
about Scooters Coffee
Right.
151.
Right.
We're talking about
Mm.
Starbucks, the app
It's been
that
around a minute.
that's
Yes.
been around a good minute.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to close 400 stores.
Wow. There's a one on
400.
every corner. It's almost one. I mean, some neighborhoods have two and three.
400 stores. Another Salad and Go.
Yep.
They closed
All of Texas.
all
Yes.
of Texas because they didn't execute their plan or they didn't have it growth proof.
Yes.
Because it's great to have business and you got people lines. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone that's in business uses the analogy of Chick-fil-A. There's
Mm-hmm.
lines at Chick-fil-A for a reason.
Absolutely.
I I'm gonna say this in a term. I ain't never. You hear me? Seen a Chick-fil-A
Mm-hmm.
closed besides on Sunday. You don't ever
Yes.
see one talking about, oh, we closing down because we don't make enough money, or we didn't staff too high, or we need to close some other. You have never seen a Chick-fil-A close.
Let me tell you what I say about Chick-fil-A.
Come on.
This is a part of my operating system. They got clarity about who they are. They have structure. They have strategies and they have a system. And they're one of the few corporations that still do in person training. They have a training center.
Yeah.
You will never go to a Chick fil A anywhere and you don't hear that line, my pleasure.
You know what? To own a Chick-fil-A,
Everywhere. Yeah,
sorry, to own a Chick-fil-A, you cannot own one without going through training.
training.
You
And so,
can't.
so why is it that we think, I don't care if you're a solopreneur, you got a small business, you got a team, you got an organization, you have to have foundational information to train. If you don't have standard operating procedures, you're done before you start.
No.
Because if someone says, I love this business, I want to invest, where's your operating document? And you don't have one,
Yeah,
that's a problem.
it
If you
is.
are listening to this, you're listening to this right now and you know you don't have documentation for your business, you need to go to bridgetmoody.com/events and you need to register Pen2Paper right now. Whatever level, you need to register right now because I'm telling you, this is a problem for a lot of entrepreneurs. They don't have documentation. And so when you get ready to, and you skate by, doing your LLC and things of that nature, and you do these skeleton documents, you need you need policies, you need processes, and you need procedures. And with that said, what do you feel like shows up first, Shawn, in this scenario? Is it a cash flow problem when they're moving too fast financially? Is it staffing strain, or is it the debt?
Ooh, that last one, the debt.
Mm-hmm. Because we
It,
take on too much too fast.
we take on too much too fast.
Yep.
Scalability
Mm-hmm.
is a great thing.
Yep.
You definitely need money to scale,
Yeah.
but you can't take on so much debt to where it's making you scale
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
If you can scale inch by inch,
Mm-hmm.
do that.
Yeah.
I understand if you say, oh man, if I just had one more of this, then I can generate this. Or if I just had two more of these, I can do this. Let me go get a loan to
Yeah.
to buy what I need to scale. That's not always the case.
Absolutely.
That's not always the case. I,
Absolutely.
I say if you have
Absolutely.
get the cash or you have that investment or
Mm-hmm.
that capital you can tap
Mm-hmm.
into, not a loan, that
Yeah.
you can tap into to say, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I know I probably need another truck, but let me make this much more money first
Absolutely.
before I go out and
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was working with a young lady. She, Bridget, she owned and operated pickles.
Wow.
You hear me? Pickles.
Wow.
She had a whole shop, store lined up, set up. I said, ma'am, how far do you get with pickles? She showed me those numbers.
Wow.
I mean, she had brisket pickles. She had hot habanero pickles. She had grape pickles, red pickle. She had so many variety of pickles. But I said, show me,
Wow.
where did you start? She said, I started with three different kinds of pickles.
Wow.
And my son and I would just go buy another jar. I'd fix them, put it out. I fix them, put it out. I think she has over 100 flavors of
So
different
is she
pickles.
online only or is she brick and mortar?
She, she's at a shopping center in South Dallas.
Wow. So
Now
a marketplace.
she's in a marketplace. Now she's in gas stations around South Dallas because they heard of her
Wow.
pickles.
Wow.
So she's in
But see,
corner stores.
that's the thing. You don't have to try to do what the next person is doing. Do it on your
Mm-mm.
level and let it grow. Let it do its thing. And so many times we're trying to get to 5 years down the road tomorrow, you know, and you haven't had the experiences, you haven't had the ups and downs. I tell people all the time, what I'm doing, it just didn't start. It's been 10, 13 years now. It's been over 10 years. And so there are peaks, there are valleys. You got to know how to operate in both, you know. And so in order to maintain that consistency, you have to, number one, have some clarity. You got to have structure. You got to have strategies. You got to have systems. So what I'm hearing is that she is clear about what her lane is. That's number one. Number two, she has a structure for how her business is set up, right? She knows what her product is, and she's taken that product and she has established, this is the thing, preparation comes before provision.
Mm,
And so if there's no preparation for the product, there's no provision through the product,
come on, come
right?
on.
And so this is the thing that so many people miss. And so you have to take the time to do the preparation for whatever you're doing, right? Because if you don't prepare the website, they can't go find you, right?
Mm,
If you don't prepare the product, they can't purchase it. If you don't bake the
mm,
cookies, they
mm,
can't buy them. So
mm, mm.
we have to take, but I see structure. Then she had a strategy, right? I do one flavor, two or three flavors at a time. You know, I go get another jar, make some more pickles, right? And then she established a system. I'm gonna operate right here, and then let it speak for itself.
Speak
And
for
then you
yourself.
rinse and repeat. Systems are, that's why clarity is not a feeling, it's an operating system. And when you learn how to operate in the system that you build for yourself, it's a no-brainer. It's
Yeah,
a no-brainer. It's a
no brainer,
no-brainer.
no brainer.
Oh man, I can tell this is gonna be good, 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 good. So another question: what are some common mistakes that quietly block entrepreneurs from funding, and what can they fix quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main one that sticks out is credit, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
probably
Mm-hmm.
one of the
Mm-hmm.
main ones. And fortunately, unfortunately, uh, we need credit in today's society,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there are ways around it. There's grants, um,
Mm-hmm.
there's foundations that offer assistance that
Mm-hmm.
where you can get or raise money for
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah.
I also, the one that really blocks is the wherewithal.
Yeah.
Is the wherewithal.
Yep.
Uh, exactly what we're talking about, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that vision velocity, and some stop right there,
Yep.
right? Oh
Yep.
yeah, I want to do it. Oh yeah, I take off. But but
Mm-hmm.
but now where you going?
Yep.
What action are you putting behind it? Right? Yes, some companies and businesses can run on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the piece, staying with it. And, something we talked about earlier, that's documentation.
Yeah.
Um, there has to be documentation. And a lot of people they document what comes in, but a lot of times they don't document what's going out.
Mm,
And so we got to keep track of everything. Not only that, you got to keep track of, the flow of customers and what's happening with customers,
yes.
surveys and what people are saying, reviews, things of that nature. All of that is important. Your success with clients, your success with customers, what's your success rate, because there's always going to be something that you can improve upon. So
Mm,
it's important to keep track of all of those things. But like you said, the commitment, it that leaves the evidence to you being a good uh, entrepreneur, business owner, right? Um, so one other question when we talk about this vested action, when somebody says that tells you that they're serious about their business, what does seriousness look like financially? So when they walk
mm.
in, so we talked about when they're not serious, but when they are serious, what does that look like?
Um, when you have everything in order, ready to go, I've had someone say, "Hey, listen, I'm ready to go. I just need to know, am I going in the right direction?"
Mm-hmm.
This client, and I'm only telling you from experience, right? A client walked in and said, "Listen, I want to buy this building. I know you typically want 20% down. I have 30% ready to go to put down on this building. Here's my tax returns. Here's my P&Ls. Here's my balance sheet. Here's
Mm-hmm.
everything." I tell
Mm-hmm.
you, that was done in 3 weeks.
Yes,
Three
because they were
weeks
serious
because they
and
were
they were ready.
serious. They were ready.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not talking, you know, 5 or 10,000. I'm talking this equipment was $300,000,
Mm-hmm.
but they knew they needed that piece of equipment to scale their business.
Absolutely.
That one piece of equipment is going
Mm-hmm.
to make them $50,000 a month
Wow. So there's a collateral right there.
right there. It's going to pay for itself
Pay
in
for
half
itself.
a year. In half a year, it's going to pay for itself.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. So
yeah.
if someone's coming to Pen to Paper Summit with a big 2026 vision, what do you want them to walk away with so that they're truly positioned to execute?
I want them to walk away with not only knowledge, not only clarity, but the confidence
Yeah,
and right, the confidence and the motivation to stick with it. We're in some rocky times right now, right?
absolutely.
We're in some
Absolutely.
rocky times, and I have a lot of friends in banking, and some of them are down, depressed because of the economy and where it's going. But if you have this vision, if you have this clarity of
Mm-hmm.
where you can be and where you can go, you put some action behind it, man, oh man, it can take it can take you somewhere. You got to be consistent. You
Absolutely.
got to be consistent.
Got to stay with it.
Got to stay with it.
Yeah, got to stay with it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sean, for this insight. This was amazing. This is the tip of the iceberg. I just want y'all to know. This is what Pen to Paper is about: writing the vision, building the structure, and then taking vested action that produces the results. That's what it's about. At the end of the day, that's the outcome you want, right? So that
Yeah.
everybody that's looking at this, or whether you're looking at the replay, did go to bridgetmoody.com/events and get registered for the Pen to Paper Summit 2026. It's happening January 31st. Now, if you want VIP, we're going to chill on that Friday, have a 5-star dinner, have some mentoring. But the action happens on Saturday, January 31st. Listen, you're gonna have snacks, you're gonna have lunch, not too much that you're gonna go sleep, but we're gonna take care of you, we're gonna treat you real, real good. We're in a wonderful space, free parking, the whole nine. You don't have to worry about any of that. Easy access into the building. And we're going to get into this so that you can establish your 2026 with clarity, with structure, with strategies, and with a system. And that's going to be important for execution. So quickly before we go, I got a few just rapid fire questions.
Good.
So cash flow or profit, what should entrepreneurs track weekly?
Cash flow.
Okay. Biggest money myth entrepreneurs need to drop.
Uh, my my credit score will get me whatever I want.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. One thing you tell every new CEO to do this week.
Budget.
There you have it. Listen, Shawn Whitlock, he is going to be a facilitator at the upcoming Pen to Paper 2026 Summit. You get registered, grab your seat, listen, and don't you come by yourself. You bring somebody with you because I'm telling you, we're going to go deep beyond the blueprint, vision, velocity, and vested action. We'll see you next time on Motivation and Conversation.